This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun, but the real star of today's show are the new SRP load cell pedal set by Moza Racing. We just recently did a review of their new CS wheel and their R9 wheelbase, which is sort of their new entry level. I mean, let's be honest, we're talking direct drive hardware, so we are talking upper echelon hardware, but more that middle of the road entry level point for that high-end market, let's call it. I think that's a fair assumption, or a fair way to put it. So this is the pedal set to match. And if, again, one thing I've noted about Moza is how they're kind of going right after that similar concept or lineup as Fanatec. So you've got the big boy direct drive wheels, you've got the big boy steering wheels to match it, you've got the lower end R9 wheelbase with a little less Newton meters, less price point as well, and a less expensive wheel to go along with it. Now you've got the pedal set to match. So long-winded intro. What we're going to do here is really, I've known about these pedals, I know about their construction, but I've yet to put my hands on them and see what they're all about, and they are a brand new entry on the market. So today we're going to go ahead and do an unboxing and put them together and just take a first look before we even get them on the rig. So what I can tell you is the SRP Racing pedals are $179 for the two pedal set. That includes a load cell brake. In addition, they do make available the SRP clutch. I think today we're not going to install this just yet. We're going to keep it straightforward. We're going to do the unboxing and assembly here. We'll unbox and show you this one, but we'll leave the addition of that to when we're actually into the review. So we're going to keep these in the two-pedal configuration to get things going. So let's go ahead and take a look. But again, $179 for the pedals, $39 for the add-on clutch. And I got to tell you, in the modern era, I do like that more companies are making a 2 and 3 pedal set available. I think more sim racers, more people are playing Formula 1 style games or cars. More people are driving GT3 cars, modern versions where you don't necessarily need a clutch pedal like you did for some of the older cars. So if you don't need it, just like a Formula 1, we'll go ahead and put what you do need for launches into the steering wheel and then just use a 2 pedal set. It gives you better distance between the pedals in many cases, keeps things a little more freed up, and most importantly, it saves you $39 even on that entry-level high-end version. So let's go ahead and open them up. Let's move this out of the way just a little bit. I'm very excited about this. I know we've had such an explosion of high-end gear in the last 12, 18, 24 months. And it's really nice to see that they're not forgetting the bottom. And again, I don't want to call this the bottom because we are talking about high-end equipment. You know, when I think bottom, we're talking wheels and things that are made mostly of plastic, maybe not even having force feedback. In this case, we're talking about really medium end in the grand spectrum of things and entry level into the high-end equipment, we'll call it. So let's go ahead and pull these out. Just like most of the other Moza stuff, we've got the nice packaged box, and then we've got the styrofoam insert with multiple pieces. So here we have just a pad. We're gonna go ahead and toss that aside. And then we've got our instruction kit with some Moza stickers, which is nice to have. And then we have what looks like the heel plate. So here we have, this is now, so everything else from Moza has been made out of aluminum. This is steel, and if I were to put a magnet on it, it would stick right away. Interesting heel plate with these little, I'm not sure if those are mounting locations, we'll find out. And then there's this interesting foam on the back that we'll have to figure out what that's all about. And you can see a mounting point right there, those two little posts. So there we've got that, and then we've got another covering. And then the beauty parts. Where should we start? Let's start with this one. This looks like it's the gas pedal. Okay, oh, come on out, baby. Da, da, da. All right, so what we have here is steel. You know, everything we've seen recently has been made of aluminum. Aluminum. Looks like, I'll have to put a magnet on the gas pedal. This might be aluminum here from looks at it. This is definitely steel. You can see it's sort of a flat steel that they then curved. So it was cut before on a laser cutter, it looks like. And then it was shaped into that tray bottom, that U shape that makes the bottom base. And then we've got a dual hinge point mechanism. What's going on here with this back? Is that the stop? That is the stop. So this second bolt here is actually the throttle stop. And is that coated in anything? Yeah, there's a little bit of a rubber coating on it, so it's not a metal to metal when it hits bottom, when it bottoms out. There we have a potentiometer, it looks like, or some kind of a measuring device. We'll look into that. And then the pivot point on the opposite side. It looks like you can move these forward and back, so if you wanted to shorten, right now we're at full throw, the longest, and it looks like there are 2 more positions we can remount that to shorten the throw. And then it's got some sort of a heel mechanism, and then here we have a plug, and then down here there's some sort of a box. So here's the USB connector, and this is where the throttle plugs in. So we would go ahead and just plug this guy right into there like that. And then on the other side, it looks like we have the connections for the clutch, the brake sensor, brake position sensor, and brake load cell. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So there's the gas pedal. And then we have the brake pedal. Da-da-da! Almost move that out of the way a little bit. Alright, little piece of foam on that. Now, here, what do we got going on here? Same sort of thing on the bottom tray. Steel, laser cut, shaped for the bottom U-shaped tray that is the whole base of the unit. Same sort of positioning here where you've got the bolt that is the limiter for how far our travel is going to be, an absolute maximum stop back there. And then we've got our pivot point here. And then as you read in that plug-in, so we've got a position sensor, it looks like, a typical potentiometer. That's going to be this cable right here. And then this one actually goes to the load cell. Now, this is unique. I've never seen the need or the usage of both a position sensor and a load cell. So we'll have to see how that translates. We have a spring, and then I understand inside, oh, it's right here, a urethane bushing. So right there is a urethane bushing, and there's a spring. So you've got sort of dual rate. You've got the spring rate and then the urethane, which you can see it compresses the spring mostly. So right here I have very little compression on the urethane. As I depress the spring, you can feel it start to load up on the urethane, and then as I get to the end of the spring, it really starts to put pressure on that. And then it seems like right inside of here, you're going to have that load cell and that little piston type, press-in type load cell inside of that right there. So there are the 2 pedals for the 2-pedal version of this. Again, all steel. You can kind of see the way this lines up, where we would have the ability, it looks like, to mount, looking at our brake pedal, we can mount that brake pedal here, 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 anywhere along that. Same thing on the gas pedal. If we start out all the way at the widest position here, and then working our way in these series of holes. So there, there, there. Obviously, if we're going to throw a clutch pedal into the middle of that, it would just line up sort of right into your choice, and you can, looks like you'd have 1 or 2 positions to choose from at that point. So might get a little bit tighter inside of that. Pedal face is the small face for the brake pedal, and the elongated gas pedal face. So there is that. All right, what else comes in the box? And then we'll start putting these together. So here we have a toolkit of sorts. I don't see, there were instructions. You might need to pull those instructions back out. So, okay, so what we have here is the USB cable that we're gonna need. Also have some tools and bolts. Spanner wrench, 3 Allen wrenches, some sort of plastic bushing or spacer. I'm not sure what that's all about. We've got some long bolts, some medium bolts. Looks like some 3M cable guides, little self-stick on the bottom cable guides for routing the cables perhaps. We've got some fat bolts, and then we've got all these little ones as well. Okay, so what we can do first is start with this gas pedal, and this is where I'm a little confused about the foam and its purpose, because if I want to go to the farthest setting, it's going to be pushing on that, and it covers my USB plug. Interesting. So this furthest one is actually kind of hard to use unless I was going to trim some of this way. So why don't we go with the second position in out of ease, and we'll see how much that annoys us. We might need to We might need to cut some of that foam in the end if we need to, right? Okay. Whoops, this isn't helping. Come on, Shaun. Get it together. There we go. Right there. And then we can take this. And this. This. Oop, oop. Oh, it's not being friendly. Let's try this one. Better. And what's my problem on that one? A little difficult there. Alright, let's just get these guys going. There we go. No problem. Okay, there we go. Now, one thing on the brake side, we want to get our cables going over there. So I am going to go ahead and route them through this hole. You can see we're going to take the cable, go through here. And before we encapsulate it by bolting it down. There goes my dog going crazy again. I think my dog's gone crazy. Okay, the other thing is we might want to identify which one's which. So this one here is the position sensor. And it's the one that doesn't actually come through the hole. But I think what we're going to do is go ahead and plug these in now. So when I look at the diagram, they want the sensor here and the load cell on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. I mean, I guess, I think now we can mount that. I got the one that I need, so I can't screw it up. And we'll put that one in. And again, I want one set in. If you wanted to, you could remove that foam and go wider. So I think if you're in the 2-pedal configuration like we're setting these up for right now, I think you would go ahead and leave that foam on there and go ahead and come in one step. I think that's going to be plenty of spacing for me for comfort for left and right foot. And then we could do the same, and then if we were going to add the clutch, I think I would go ahead and move both of these one step further outward, right? And then remove the foam so we don't have interference. And then I would go ahead and put the clutch where I liked it to be. Actually, earlier I mentioned the clutch. No, the clutch obviously go over there. We'd move the brake over here. The clutch would go there. I think I misspoke and was acting like we'd put the clutch in the middle. So forgive me for that if you caught that mistake. I did realize the error in my ways, even though I'm doing this live and just kind of going along as I do it. All right, so here we go. 4 bolts away from the brake being nicely mounted. Now, what I'm not seeing included with this is any kind of tuning kit, so whatever the tension on the brake is, looks like that's what it's gonna be. And then we would have the ability to adjust our travel like we can on the gas pedal to 3 different positions. So if you wanted shorter travel, you could accomplish that and just recalibrate. So, okay, so there we go. All of those are tight. Pretty small bolts holding those in, and I mean, pretty simple design. It's just the heel plate itself becomes the backbone of the whole design. So, other than plugging in that other brake pedal, so now what we could do is put that one there. That's where the potentiometer plugs in. So this was the position sensor into this forward one. And then at the back we have the load center. There's a spot in the middle where the clutch would go. And I'm assuming it has a slightly longer cable. I'm not going to install these. I mean, we could install these little guys. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So now that we have that all nicely done, those are barely long enough to go to the full disc. Like, I don't even know if we could go that much further left. I guess we could get rid of that clip there. Alright, I'm just going to put one of these in right now just so we can see how that works. But I think I'm going to wait until we do the clutch to use the other ones I have here. But that gives you an idea how that goes in. So what we have is some rubber feet here. And this is a mounting point. Are these threaded? Not for that size. No, these are not threaded. So these are going to have to bolt down. I don't see any bolts. They're going to help with that. Let's go ahead and look in the instructions, see if we've missed anything here. You can adjust the pedal board height. That's what these spacers are for. So this, the long bolt is going to go through here, and this spacer here is going to give it a nice distance to mount to whatever. But I don't see what this is supposed to bolt into. You would have to have your own slotted rig solution, I suppose. And then the same thing here, we would use that over here on this side. And that's your mounting point at the front. And then at the back, we have the same thread pitch here at the back. And then again, same thing. They're assuming that you're going to be using this into perhaps a profile chassis of some sort where you would have M5. I'm guessing this is M5 hardware. Okay, so there you go. We'll figure that out when we get it over to our rig for actual installation. But that is the mounting points, and you have those spacers for the distance between the heel plate and the flat surface, and these just directly bolt in. So here you go. That is the Moza Racing SRP pedal set for $179, and again, it came with the tools we needed and everything. And not a bad configuration. You've got your load cell brake pedal, so it's not just a cheapo, it's a load cell brake pedal. You've got your spring and potentiometer style gas pedal, adjustable throw there, adjustable throw here, and that's pretty much what you get. Now, when I'm watching this, I am seeing a little bit of flex. Are you guys seeing this? I'm seeing just a little bit of flex right here. I don't know how much we'll feel that, but when I compare this to their aluminum pedal set, like that flex right there under extreme situations, but it feels pretty smooth. Everything feels smooth. Everything feels nice for the money. Not a bad deal. So real quick, we'll go ahead and bust into this clutch pedal as well. So for $39, and you could add this later, or you could do it initially out of the gate, you could have a clutch. So, you know, if that's something you didn't want, or maybe you couldn't afford it in the beginning, something you can always add on later. It does come separately. And that looks like, do I have this upside down? I do. And so with the clutch, ta-da. Alright, so with the clutch, it looks like basically the clutch pedal is nearly identical to the gas pedal except for the face. You got the same laser cuts or stamped metal that is then shaped into the U that makes the bottom tray. You've got the front pivot position with the reading instrument on the other side of that. You've got a big beefy spring. I don't think I showed you the spring. Can you see that spring inside? Same spring that's on the gas pedal inside. That is your resistance. You've got the phone style cable coming off that will plug into the gas pedal. And then you've got a 3-point adjustable throw distance. You have no kind of a fall off point, no release point. It's just a straight, basically it's a second throttle pedal. So you just take this second throttle pedal and you put it over there, and you have a very, very snappy clutch pedal if you need it. I think in this scenario, I mean, as much as that's cool, and maybe for some it'll work for those who drive older cars, but I think for me, this is the one that I like really. I really like the idea of a $179 load cell pedal set. Looks like they'll be reliable, and maybe not the stiffest pedals when comparing to the $800, $900, $1,200 pedal sets, but certainly a good usable pedal set that will get you off of just standard floppy pedals. So we will have a full review of this coming very, very soon. I just wanted you to get a good look at it and get to see what they're really all about. And again, I will expedite that review as much as I can. I want to thank Moza Racing for sending these over for review. Thank you very much for doing that. And of course, be sure to subscribe to the channel so when that review comes out, you'll get a notification and you can be one of the first to watch it. And of course, give this one a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. Back to doing the unboxings on new products. It's a lot of fun for me. Hopefully it's fun for you, like a kid on Christmas morning. Thank you for watching. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.